Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the president of Sagiss. They are one of the top IT services providers in North Texas. His incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, this happens in the life of almost every company in America. They're growing, they've got an IT guy, they keep growing larger, and then they have a discussion, how do we scale this thing? And sometimes you bring in kind of a freelance IT guy. Saves you a bunch of money. You don't have to hire a new employee. To talk about that today, Travis Springer, he is the president of Sagiss. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Jeff.
All right, let's start with the name, because I've never heard this name before, but it actually has meaning.
Yeah, so Sagiss, it is supposed to bring to mind the word sage and wisdom, and then the knowledge that IT specialists can bring to a company.
And this was started by your dad?
Yep, my dad and a business partner started this in 1997 out of a CPA firm. So we have a strong accounting background in the company. And then I joined the team in 2015 and became a partner in 2019. Right before COVID, when his partner retired.
Wow, and I think right place at the right time, because you specialize in North Texas, and I can't think of a better economy than the one we're enjoying. Give us an idea of like a typical client. What would they hire you to do? Yeah,
so typical client for us, like easy example would be like a law firm. So think like a 50-person law firm. They're big enough to have legitimate IT and cybersecurity needs, but they don't quite have the size or the volume to justify a full-time hire. So what they do is they contact us. We come in, provide the tools, the technology, the expertise, and we're able to do, full turnkey IT service, IT department in a box, if you will. Everything from buying a laptop, onboarding a user, supporting that user, and the kind of the whole life cycle.
Okay, we're going to pull up the website, and as we scroll down the website, when you took over as president in 2019, you had no idea COVID was going to come around, but then COVID does happen, and I think that threw the globe into a tailspin, especially when it comes to managing data and protecting data, because so many people were working remote. Talk about COVID and how you guys navigated COVID.
Yeah, definitely. So, first it was a lot of trial by fire. As a, new to running a business and COVID, there were a lot of challenges there. And not only from just delivering service to clients, but also for myself personally of stepping into that role with all that change. But really it presented a great opportunity for everyone. I learned a lot very quickly, and we were able to come in and just do a lot to help clients very, very quickly. There was a lot of, hey, our company has never worked out of the office. We need to be in the office, or we need to be able to do that full time now. Taking advantage of the cloud and things like that to provision. I don't know how many servers we spun up in those first couple of months, probably north of 100 virtual machines in the cloud so that people could get to their data and access. There was a lot.
Well, you were telling me a story right before the show of a time that your company stepped in because the head of IT passed away. Would you share that story?
Yeah. So this was a number of years ago. The client they had an IT guy. I don't think he was an employee. He was a kind of a friend, contractor type thing. But it was one man shop, and unfortunately passed away very suddenly. And the client realized that all of the knowledge, credentials, documentation, they didn't know anything about how the IT ran for their business. And they reached out to us, and we were able to come in and kind of hack into some stuff and reverse engineer some things and get them back on track. For us, the value we're providing there is bringing a team where there's no single point of failure. We have redundant systems. We've got, north of 20 employees, and
Congratulations, sir. You absolutely saved the day. I think about how many companies out there would be at a loss if they suffered the same setback. You make a lot of videos, and I found one from several years ago. Let's go ahead and roll that.
I'm Landon Campbell. Been with JPI for almost 3 years now. I'm the IT manager and do all things technical from workstation builds to operational strategic plans. JPI, we're a multifamily developer with Class AA properties right now. We focus on finding a very developable piece of land, buying that property, and then going and building a #1 best-in-class property for that piece of land, and then selling it. But our goal is to always give back to that community that we touch. So before, there was an IT manager that was here for a month, so can't really give too much to his tenure. The IT systems were neglected. Everything was end of life, aged very hard. And then I believe Sagiss was brought on 6 months to a year before me. They were able to come in and say, here's what we need to do. Here's the project plan, and we knocked it out, and we're on some current systems and heading towards future innovations right now. It was my first experience using an outsourced IT MSP at a company. Everything had been internal where I had been. But it was really seamless bringing in Sagiss and using their capabilities to just outreach to them when things were needed as far as projects or improvements, anything like that. But on the day-to-day stuff, everything was just there as is, like it was already in the business. Whether it be help desk, procurement, or other supporting needs that we had. When I first joined, we were at 120 people, and now we're almost at 230, which is a lot of people in a year and a half, 2 years to bring on. But having the ability to branch off and have someone internal, plus bringing them into what Sagiss had already in place, was phenomenal, and keeping pace with the growth and having IT stay ahead of what the business was doing. We're taking that extra step to bring the IT to the executive table. We're saying technology is here and it's going to stay here. And if you want to bring your company to the next level, you have to use technology. And that's why IT needs to be at the executive table.
Something that struck me is kind of this white glove treatment. Talk about customer service and why that's a priority for you.
Yeah, so we're based here in DFW. All of our staff is here locally. We started here. I'm from the Dallas area, so we're hyper focused on this Dallas-Fort Worth, North Texas market community, and part of that for us is high touch, white glove customer service. One thing I think that makes us special is that we like to go on site. Yes. A lot of IT providers, they try to minimize going on site, whether that's a personality thing or a cost thing. We found that the relationship that we build with our clients by going on site and seeing them is really important, and giving that extra level of touch, as opposed to just being voices on a phone or the other end of an email chain. Sure.
You were sharing another story about a fast-growing chicken restaurant in DFW. Tell us how you helped them.
Yeah, they came to us. They had an internal person and they had some transitions there. So we helped them through that transition. But one of the things we uncovered was they were having issues with their payment card processing, so PCI compliance. Sure. And charges weren't going through during the lunch rush, and they lost revenue. Wow. American Express was back charging them for stuff. So some serious problems. Sure. And we were able to come in and help kind of standardize the store footprint model, to get the scans completed easily, successfully, no more lost revenue.
So Travis, we're almost out of time. If an IT manager or CEO is watching this right now and says, I think I found my guy, what's the process look like? They get a hold of you through the website?
Yeah, they can get hold of us through the website. I'd be happy to talk to anyone and introduce them to the team and love to help. And again, like I said, we really love working with and helping businesses in the DFW community. That's, we like giving back, and that's one of the ways we do that.
Outstanding. Thank you for the sage advice. We're going to end with the website, which is Sagiss. Travis Springer, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.